Bournemouth hosting Liverpool. We talk about Liverpool's upturning confidence, surging for that top 4 spot now. They've got to be going to Bournemouth and expecting to win, haven't they?
Yeah, I think they do. Like you said, the confidence, that's probably the fixture that they get the most confidence from, and the biggest win as well on top of that. So it's added, and always losing last minute is worse. Like being 2-0 up against Arsenal. They won't have to pick themselves up because they'll know this is a huge game. But yeah, I see Liverpool winning this comfortably. I'm going to say 3-0.
Everton at home to Brentford, and Sean Dyche's initial impact in terms of results has slowed somewhat, but they still look more organised, don't they, Everton? But their home games, as we've said before, are going to be crucial for them, and Brentford are in great form.
I don't know how I see this game going. I honestly don't. I see, again, there's been a lot of respect from Everton in regards to how Brentford are playing. And Brentford just create chances, don't they? They just put defences under so much pressure. And that's one thing I don't think Everton have been good at, is withstanding pressure, absorbing pressure, and not look like conceding. So they're going to have to score to get anything from the game. But I will say 1-1. Yeah, I don't know why. It's 2-1 Brentford or 1-1. I just don't see Everton winning this game.
Next up, we go Leeds at home to Brighton. Again, another team struggling down at the bottom against welcoming a team who were in really good form. Do you think that the home advantage will help Leeds, or are they in for a tough afternoon?
They're in for a tough afternoon. It might help, but they're still in for a tough afternoon. The way Brighton set up play and the confidence, the way they play is only achievable with confident players. Like the way they set up and play it from the back and literally go, well, we'll have these 6 players, including the goalie, back. You 4 or 5 stay up, and then we'll find a way out. You only play that way with confidence. So again, the press is going to have to be so accurate from Leeds. Well, I'm going to say Brighton. I'm going to go Brighton 2-0.
Leicester host Chelsea. Funny one at Leicester. They just seem to be getting themselves together, but 3 straight defeats have put the pressure back up on Brendan Rodgers. They're not officially out of that relegation battle just yet, but you would think they would have enough quality to get over the line. Chelsea, on the other hand, as we say, confidence much improved in the camp. How do you see this one going?
Leicester's just a weird one, isn't they? As much as they're down there, I don't consider them being in the relegation fight. It just being a poor season, very inconsistent, similar to like Wolves, basically. But yeah, I don't know, because you just don't know what team he's going to select, Potter. I think there's an opportunity now to keep the same team due to them winning, confidence being high, and the other players now being a case of, well, this group have just won. And when the manager keeps the same team, that's probably when you can accept the same team being picked, is when off a good performance and result. So there's an opportunity here to get some rhythm. If he does that, I see them winning. I just don't know. But I'm going to say Chelsea 2-1.
Final 3 o'clock is Tottenham at home to Nottingham Forest. We talked about them trying to lift themselves up off the floor after this result. Forest, they continue to sort of play with a really good spirit, don't they? They're competing in games, which is encouraging, but it's just whether they're going to have enough quality in the end to get over the line, I suppose. But yeah, do you think Tottenham will respond with a victory here?
The styles, I would say no. I would say Forest play the way Spurs want to play, in regards to just being a little bit deeper and having wingers and forward players that can dictate play and be efficient, because Brendan Johnson, Morgan Gibbs-White, they're really efficient with the chances, aren't they? They're not free creating chances that they score, that they're getting, but they're executing. So I see this being a tough game for Spurs. Massive week for Conte if he doesn't win, but I'm going to go against the grain and say Forest 2-1.
Crystal Palace host Man City. It's been a really funny season for Crystal Palace. They are, after their recent bad run, kind of more in that relegation clump than in the looking upwards.
Yeah.
patch. But you wouldn't, like we say with Wolves and Leicester, you wouldn't really think that they're in the relegation battle. But it is a worrying run of form. I think the bottom of the form table in the Premier League, and hosting Man City is never a good time to play them, is there?
Yeah, there's never a good time that I see City winning this game, but I also, like you said, don't believe Palace are in a relegation fight. The form isn't great at all, but there's worse teams, in my opinion, which is never a good way to stay up. But if there's solely on worse teams, but again, I just see City winning. I just see them probably not having 90 minutes, a strong 90 minutes, but having enough spells to score 2 or 3 goals. So I'm going to say 3-1 Man City.
Sunday, 4 games for us here to round off the weekend. Man United hosting Southampton. Southampton continue to sort of nick results here and there. 2 wins in their last 3 now, which has kept them alive in terms of the relegation battle. But going to Old Trafford is a different ask. And United, obviously, with a point to prove after that humbling defeat at Anfield. What do you think in this contest?
Yeah, I don't think this will be close. I think there'll be a professionalism about United. Also understand that was a freak result. Listen, they've lost and they can lose games, but 7-0. Just not even current form, just based on them not scoring with Marcus Rashford, you know what I mean? So I see them winning this game. I'm going to say comfortable 3-0.
Leaders Arsenal go away to Fulham, and they've had to pull a couple of wins out of the fire recently, Arsenal. No more so than against Bournemouth last time out, 2-0 down, winning 3-2. It's easy for us to say afterwards that is the mark of a champion, but are they shaking a little bit? And is this trip to Fulham a real banana skin?
Yeah, I'm not kind of against them having them kind of results last minutes, because I don't think there's longevity to that. I don't think you win multiple games that way. But throughout the season, you can concede. So the likelihood of them conceding goals is still a possibility. But scoring last-minute winners every week isn't, do you know what I mean? That isn't a realistic goal. It isn't a realistic aim. I'm sure Arteta and that group of players don't want to do that. But yeah, I would... I'm not like... That doesn't kill my spirit seeing that from a City's point of view. I'm thinking, okay, like that won't happen every week, but you can concede pretty much every other week. I'm going to go... I think they win this game 3-1. But again, this isn't a fixture that I thought the title was going to be determined on.
West Ham hosting Aston Villa. I think some people would have been slightly surprised to see David Moyes survive after recent results. He's certainly under a lot of pressure, and Villa are playing better under Unai Emery, back-to-back wins, and they'll fancy their chances of making it 3 here, won't they?
It's just a mad inconsistency with these teams. You just don't know what's gonna happen. But losing to Brighton is a disappointment from a West Ham point of view. The way they lost was surprising, but in the greatest respect, only because it's Brighton. But if you look at where Brighton are and how they're playing, it shouldn't be a surprise. You know what I mean? I think if that happens to Villa, I think there's a different outcome to that. I think there's a huge more pressure on David Moyes if they lose convincingly to Aston Villa. Do I see that happening? No, because knowing David Moyes, his setup this week will be we don't concede. So I'm going to say 1-0 West Ham.
Final game of the weekend is Newcastle hosting Wolves. We talk about this winless run that Newcastle are on. You know, Wolves at home, compared to some of their more recent fixtures, might look more winnable, but Wolves are continuing to sort of catch the eye without flying up the table. They're playing some good stuff under Lopetegui.
I don't know how it plays out for Newcastle. Like you said, Wolves are just going about their business quietly. Again, down there, but not a team that people are speaking about regards to relegation, and rightly so. I just think Lopetegui's done an exceptional job since he's arrived. Let's go with my heart and say 2-0 Wolves.